Hello, we are live. So I need to try and get Amanda in so I can invite her to join us for our conversation. For that to come through. Hopefully Amanda will be here with us this morning. How is everyone going this morning? This evening, sorry. Hi Amanda, you're here.
Hello, I'm here. How are you?
I'm good. There's always that couple of seconds delay where it's like, oh, I hope that connected. I will just put on my microphone. I'm a bit delayed today. How are you this evening? Are you able to speak? I know you've lost your voice.
I have. I'll try and speak up as loud as I can, but yeah,
No,
I'll be fine.
no problem. Well, let's get started. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Monday Evening Conversations to Inspire with me, Kim Adams. I'm really passionate about working with women who are 40 plus to work through high functioning anxiety, overwhelm, mindset, so that they can live their most confident life, especially as we move into those midlife years where, you know, there is so much opportunity and sometimes the only thing getting in our own way is ourselves. So I love to have women come to this conversation to talk about their business and, more importantly, behind the business, how they manage their well-being, their stress, their overwhelm. And tonight we have the beautiful Amanda here from Amanda Fritz Aesthetics. Welcome, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'll apologise again for those. I have a little bit of laryngitis, so I'll speak up as loud as I can. But yeah, just bear with me tonight.
That's fine. I can hear you. So Amanda is a registered nurse and a sonographer, and also a cosmetic nurse, and has her own business here in Cairns doing cosmetic injectables and other sorts of amazing things to make women look and feel beautiful. And I really wanted to talk to Amanda tonight about my 5 key questions that I ask everyone. But those questions always go on a different path for different people. And as Amanda knows, I'm really interested in that interplay between self-acceptance and loving ourselves as we are, and also then maybe making some tweaks or deciding we want to do something to help us feel a little bit better about ourselves and how we can do that. So thank you, Amanda. I will get straight into the questions. You know, they're not too hard, but really just for us to learn a little bit more about you. So the first one is, I'm wondering if when you were 20 years old, was this your vision for what you would be doing in life for your career?
So when I was 20, I had a 6-month-old. So I had my first child quite young. I'd done 1 year of uni. So I knew from a very young age that I had a passion for women's health. And I guess having a child young, you know, back then that was quite young, I further wanted that to kind of inspire me to do something to empower women. I remember feeling quite isolated as a young mum, quite judged as well. Even though I didn't let it stop me. I had Ella and then went straight back to uni and finished my degree, which was very difficult at the time. But I guess having those people judge me or think that I wasn't going to achieve anything because I'd had a child so young only drove me more. It really gave me that passion to, show them that that's not the case, that you can always achieve your goals no matter what challenges are faced or what challenges you face in life. So, I always had a passion for women, for children. If I wasn't an aesthetics nurse, I would have been a midwife, or I was an ICU nurse to begin with, so I would have gone into neonatal ICU. So always kind of had that feminine energy. And, I have always wanted women to feel empowered no matter where their life takes them. Everybody has a different journey. women come to me with so many different stories that I appreciate. You know, it's not just about putting a needle to someone's face and, you know, getting the treatment done. It's actually finding out why they're with me, what's brought them in here. And a lot of the time there are sad stories to why people come in here. And I really love to create that safe space to, I guess, let women know that it's okay to want to feel good about yourself. It's okay to choose you. We can be a good wife, we can be a good mum, we can be a good partner, we can be a good work colleague, but I guess if we're not feeling good about ourselves and we're not putting ourselves first, then you can't be the best version of you. So I do get a lot of women that feel terrible about spending that money or, you know, wanting to do something for themselves, but that's just not the case here. We have a very open conversation. I love to let women know just that, you know, that it's okay to want to feel kind of like look on the outside how you feel on the inside, or if you are feeling quite insecure on the inside because of whatever life has thrown at you, then it's okay to start that journey to feel better about yourself and get back to who you were before those things happened. So yes, 100%. I always knew I wanted to empower women. How? I wasn't sure, but I got there in the end. So yeah, I love my job so much, as you can tell. I just have such a passion. As a sonographer, I was a women's sonographer, so I always looked after the mums and babies, the high risk pregnancies, the breast cancer ladies. So again, in both roles, I've always been there for women at whatever stage they are in their life, and I find that such a privilege.
And I think that's what I've always admired in you, is that it's not simply and only about the aesthetics that you're helping someone with, is that you have that really deep desire to help them feel empowered, and that really does come through when anyone talks to you about the work you do. Yeah. And it is a vulnerable moment for women, I guess, going in and talking to someone about their face or how they feel about how they look. And so, yeah, imagine you do get lots of people share stories with you that they may not share with anyone else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's really important that we do get down to that, you know, that root level of why they are here. Yes, some people just want to come in and have an anti-wrinkle fix, and that's fine. But we need to create that space for women so I can find out really why are they here. And then if I know exactly why they're here and they feel comfortable enough to discuss that, then they're going to get the best treatment outcome possible, because sometimes they come in here wanting to talk about something, but I really know they are wanting to you know, fix something else. So yeah, it's like I said, it's such a privilege that I get to do this every single day. My clients are like an extension of my family. They know, my clients know that. They have access to me, and I just want them to feel like they're coming here and it's a holistic approach. It's not just in and out, see you later. It's very much developing that bond, developing that rapport, so that they feel comfortable enough to be exactly who they are with me, who, like I said, I'm ultimately a stranger to them first of all, but I am so lucky. My clients are just wonderful. I have, you know I'm biased because they're my clients, but I honestly have such a beautiful group of women. Predominantly, I do treat men as well, but predominantly women who know that they can come in here and we can have a chat, and before we know it, the treatment's over. And you know, it's just, yeah, it's such a holistic approach that we have here at Amanda Fritz Aesthetics, and that's exactly the environment that I want to create here for women.
For sure, for sure. And I was very similar to you. I had my first baby when I was 21, and then went to university from there, and had was doing university while I had my other children. So, and I felt also that same pressure or judgment, and or people who thought they were being helpful by saying, oh, I don't know how you can do it all, you know, you don't have to do all of this. And it further spurred me on, I think, to go, actually, no, this is what I really want, and I will show you that I will do this. So I really resonate with that. And another thing I know that you did is something that I'm at this point now, is that for a while you were working part-time in a job and part-time building your business, which is what I'm doing now, and that's a challenge. So I was wondering, what were some of, or maybe still are, some of the biggest, you know, mindset barriers or fears or concerns that maybe you had to confront in order to go from where you were working for someone and doing, I know, a job you loved, you love sonography, and obviously clearly are passionate about that medical field. How did you get yourself through, probably what were some really challenging times between starting your business and being able to step into it fully?
It was challenging because not only was I a sonographer, I was actually the chief sonographer. So I was the manager. I managed a team of 10. And I do have such a passion for sonography and a passion for my team as well. And we went through big challenges. We went through a change of ownership. So I stepped my team through that. Then we hit COVID. So we also had that challenge and navigating that. So we went through a lot of change and a lot of challenges. Oh, sorry, my lights just turned off there. There we go. So that was, it was really difficult for me being such a, I don't know, feeling like I was a mother to this group of sonographers. I trained a couple of them as well, from baby sonographers to qualified sonographers. So it was such a challenge for me to accept that my time as a sonographer, you know, had not finished, but that role had finalised, because I had such a demand in my business for aesthetics. And I started off 1 day a week and then 2 days a week, and before I knew it, I was needing to be here full time, and I still was trying to balance the two of them. And I just got a bit of burnout at the end of last year, to be completely honest. I was trying to have too many balls in the air and balance, you know, the demands of them. I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to let my clients down. I didn't want to let myself down. So I guess making that decision was huge, but I think my mind and my body forced me to make that decision. So interesting,
because I've been feeling that at the moment too. I feel I'm at that I'm not giving enough to the job and the team that I manage where I work. And then when I'm there, I don't feel I'm giving enough to doing stuff to build my business. So there's that constant feeling of not doing enough, or letting people down, letting myself down. And it does, maybe that's why I got sick this week. The body does respond to this burnout and that emotion.
I find if you're not listening, you know, one will give up. If you're not listening to your mind, your body gives up. If you're not listening to your body, your mind gives up. So in one way or another, you know, your body or your mind forces you to make that decision. And it wasn't that I needed to be in both jobs. I just felt like I didn't want to let my team down. And I'd worked so hard to become not only, like I said, a sonographer, but also to get that position, which is quite rare at, you know, my age, to be in charge of a team and to train. But I have a passion for education as well. So I think it got to the point where I couldn't do both. And I was actually quite devastated and quite upset when it was time to leave. But I left my role in the very capable hands of a lovely friend of mine, and they still come and see me today. They're only 5 minutes up the road, so I still talk to them regularly, and I'm always a support to them, and they'll come up and have a chat to me. And I still have ultrasound in my aesthetics field, so I don't want to completely give that role up, and I won't. But yeah,
one of the followers here has said, you know, a lot of women must feel like this, that I think feeling like we're letting somebody down somewhere, whether it's letting the children or the family down because you're working too much or vice versa. So I think that being pulled in multiple directions is common for many people. So how did you manage that? You said you felt a bit burnt out by the end of last year. Was there something specific that you did to help?
I just had to make the decision.
Yeah.
I really was working, you know, I'm a mum of 3 children, so I was just working around the clock all weekend. At night time, I was responsible for paying, you know, I wasn't just a sonographer, I was responsible for time cards and paying these people and ensuring their training was up to date, and also being available to my clients and growing my business. I was in the infancy of my business. So it just reached a point where, like I said, I had a really, you know, I'm quite a strong person. I've been through a lot in my life, and I find I've always kind of pushed through. But I definitely reached that point in the end of December where my mind just, you know, it kind of had enough. It was like, that's it. You need to make a decision before you lose it all, basically. Yeah. So, and I was not prepared. I'm a fighter. I'm not prepared to lose anything. And I am a bit of a control freak, I suppose. So I had to let that control go and know that the staff at my radiology practice would be absolutely fine without me. And yeah, just make that decision, that big leap of faith from a secure job to, and you know, aesthetics is not so secure, and you know, people are feeling the pinch of the financial pressure. So that was also something to, you know, be mindful of, I guess. But I just, in my heart, you know, I knew that I could do this, and I have a very supportive family. They're amazing, not just my close-knit family of my husband and my children, but my sister-in-laws and my sister and my mum and dad, they're all behind me. So I'm super lucky in that sense that they're always there on the sidelines if I ever need them. And yeah, I feel very fortunate.
Oh, there's so many things there. I mean, I think one of the first things you said was making a decision, and I think that's where a lot of us get stuck, is not being able to make a decision because we so want to make the right decision that's where we get stuck, and that's what causes the stress. It's not the actual decision, because once that's made, you kind of then can deal with it. The weight's gone, and you know what path you have to take, and you just get on with it. And even sometimes if it's a wrong decision, a decision is better than no decisions at all. So that must have been such a relief. So I was wondering, what was one of the questions I ask people is, what has been one of the most valuable experiences in your life? Now, this might be something that was a really positive experience, that was like, wow, that was so amazing and felt so good and I got so much from it. Or maybe it was a negative experience at the time, but looking back, you're going, wow, I'm really kind of glad that happened. And you've probably had many valuable experiences, but is there any one thing that sticks out?
Yeah, I guess I was in, it would probably be more the negative experience. So I was in a relationship for many years where I was kind of I've always been passionate, I've always been career driven, I've always been academic. So I was in a relationship where I kind of felt like that side of me was being squashed, you know. No, it's my time. I need to do this for myself, and you can just kind of sit on the sidelines and, you know, just be a mum and just do that. And, you know, your time will come once I've done this or once this has been achieved. And I did that for many, many years, and I felt I went from who I am today, which is myself, to being a shell of myself. And, you know, there's a lot of kind of, you know, emotional, you know, like just that whole, it made me question, I guess, who I was, what my worth was, which, you know, I've never really had to question that before. And it kind of, you know, over the time and over the years, if someone just kind of chips away at you wake up one morning and you think, who am I? Like, what am I contributing to life right now? What, you know, where have my goals gone? Who, you know, why am I putting my needs and myself behind somebody else and getting nothing back from it, I guess. And so I made a huge decision to leave that relationship. And at the time, yes, it was extremely difficult, and I had to start all over again. I was a single mum, and I'd kind of put my sonography training to the side as well to start up, you know, to help this other person out with his career. And yeah, I at the time we were down on the Sunshine Coast, and I just said that's it, packed all my things up and moved back to Cairns and started from scratch. Had nothing. You know, had to buy knives and forks again and all those sorts of things, and go back to a traineeship wage again, and raise my daughter and show her that my worth and her worth were much more important than somebody else. So yeah, that was huge, and it took me many years to rebuild my self-confidence. And that's why I can so empathize with these women and men, it happens to men, that come in, and you can just read on their body language and on their face that I've stepped through that path before. I've been in their shoes before, and I can really empathize with that. And you just want to hug them and say, I know it's difficult now, but it's going to get better. And if you just do one thing for yourself. So I remember my one thing was for myself at that time was going to the gym. Like, it was just going to the gym once a week. I would have to take my daughter with me, but I just had to do it from my own mind. And it just got me through. Like, I had something to look forward to just keep me going. And yeah, it was a really, really difficult time in my life. I don't think many people around me probably understood how difficult it was. And I'm not a very, you know, I'm quite a closed book when it comes to, you know, letting people see that I'm vulnerable. I'm usually the strong one, or the one that people come to for comfort, or, you know, to get them through something. So it was difficult for me to kind of, you know, raise the flag and say, I'm thinking here, like I'm
help.
hoping.
Yeah.
But, you know, looking back, that was the best decision that I ever made for myself and my daughter. I graduated my sonography degree with distinctions, like I completely smashed it. And, you know, that set me on the path to bigger and better things. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because that would have been a very difficult time. And when you're naturally a strong person, it's even harder, I think, going through those experiences and asking for help, like you say, because you just think, well, I can sort it out. And often people around you don't offer help because you're not letting them know that you actually need it.
Or they're not sure how to help. You know, when the strong person is not so strong, it's scary. You know, it's scary. They're used to seeing that side of who they know of you. So it's quite scary, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know what to say, and you know, you kind of, as a person, you shut down, and you don't want them to know, because you already feel so stripped of who you are that you just kind of want to just get through it, you know, just get through it. And so I use that time so much in my job today. I use that time, I reflect on that time, and I, you know, without telling, you know, everyone doesn't need to know like all the ins and outs, but without, you know, I can just empathize with them, and I can just say, let's do one thing for yourself today, and you will feel better, and you'll get through this time. And yeah, I just love it. I just love being if I just make a small difference to one person in the day by, you know, just hearing them out, or, you know, making them feel that tiny bit better, then that makes my day.
Well, Amanda Raw, with multiple R's in her name, says, you're amazing, Amanda. So yes, we all think you are amazing. And I think it is, so many women and men do go through that. And so if you can be there and share without necessarily sharing your story, but you're sharing your energy by accepting them in that space at that time and that journey that they're wanting to now embark on, maybe in doing something for themselves, whether that be cosmetic or changing something. My fourth question is generally about what does being authentic mean, but I might just switch that a bit tonight. I'm wondering how, with what you're talking about there, how that fits with the idea that we should love ourselves as we are and accept ourselves as we are. And then how does that integrate or interplay with going, you know what, I want to change something about my appearance because I'm not happy with it. And the reason I really am interested about this topic, a little bit of story from me going back many years, was I'd been wanting, this was back, so I had breast augmentation in 2011. And I spent years building up to that decision because at the time I was teaching yoga. I was really into Buddhism and self-acceptance and mindfulness. I was also doing body image coaching and eating psychology. So I had one part of me going, I'm telling women to love themselves as they are. Yeah. And here I am to do something to myself by having sort of major surgery, basically, to do something to alter my body. And I know it took me many years of going between trying to find some balance in that before I decided, yes, I did want to do that. So I'm curious, do you see that with women, with clients who are coming in where they have that challenge, or just your thoughts on that?
I think it's important when it's important to say no as well. I've kind of gone off topic, but it is around the same thing. So I'll have a lot of, if clients come in and they'll be focused on a line, I really have to, I'm not going to inject something because that client wants that, if it's a line that I feel like, yeah, we can soften that off and that's going to enhance your appearance, and absolutely, let's discuss treating that. But there's a point where, you've got to be able to look at somebody and know what's an appropriate treatment and when it's time to say no. And I'm not going to be that injector that has, that stereotypical look out there. I'm very natural in the way that I practice. I do have a lot of young girls that come in and they want, that jawline or the cheeks or the chin, and they absolutely don't need it. And this, my very first experience with aesthetics was I was a clinical nurse for a breast surgeon, a very well-known breast surgeon, and you'd have these young, beautiful girls coming in who want breast augmentation, and they're 19 or 20. And, the journey with breast augmentation, is not just having a breast implant and that's it for life. It's, in 15 years' time, they need to come out, and
which they never used to tell you about. I don't recall, and even though I was someone who did a lot of research, I don't recall that ever being emphasised to me at the time. That, you know what, 10 to 15 years, you're going to have to do this again.
Absolutely. So it's a journey, and I would talk a lot of, I would educate young girls on what's involved, and a lot of the times they wouldn't go through with it. They would still go through with it, but I think it's important that all your clients have informed consent. They know exactly what's ahead of them. Filler doesn't last a lifetime. It lasts 12 months, depending on what area, but 12 months to 2 years. And I think it's about doing a treatment that's going to enhance that person, not detract from it. So, you see Kim Kardashians or, with those really sharp jawlines, and it's a fad. Like it's a fad. It's not something that's attractive for everybody. Yes, as we get older, we do need to support that lower jawline, and yes, it's fantastic then. But when you've already got the me too, nearly 40. But when you've got that perfect, when we have the perfect jawline, I'm not going to add to it, and I will educate them on why, and I will show them pictures, and I will talk them through it. And 99.9% of those young girls appreciate that. I'm not here to just...
And I think that's the key thing, isn't it? It's for me, I think it's your body that person's body. And ultimately, you know, if you want to do nothing, power to you. If you want to do something, power to you, but do your research, talk to someone like yourself, or go to multiple people to really make sure you understand what you're doing. And then it's a decision. Again, coming back to that decision point, you get to make the decision for yourself.
And I'll have girls that book like a new consult and a treatment, and we have a big chat, and it's so overwhelming. I do not treat them at the time. I'll say, you take this home, you have a think about it, don't worry about my time. Like, I would prefer that they are fully informed, they know exactly what they want to do, they chat to me, they have a follow-up appointment before I'll touch their face. I have an 18-year-old daughter myself. You know, you've got to be very careful with what you say and what you're kind of projecting for them. And I really am quite motherly with my young girls that come in, because I have a young daughter and I want them to know that, you know, I've got young girls that are quite asymmetric, or yes, their lips are small, and giving them lip filler, yes, it's going to emphasize their face, but you have to be very mindful of how you say that and how you approach that. And my biggest, like I said, I've always got a passion for education. So educating them on expectations and, you know, saying that this photo that you've just brought in for me, that's extremely filtered. That's not real, you know, and really getting them to understand that their perception of, you know, what's attractive at times is not really, number one, real or attractive. So yeah, it's a big job, but that's what we do.
Yeah, social media has so much to answer to, doesn't it, with all the filters, and God bless the filters. I do love them myself, but some of the filtering is to the extreme that and if you're not questioning everything that you see, you're just getting fooled all the time. So really, it sounds like what you're talking about is that balance between, it's great to do something that makes you feel better, but do your research, listen to someone who'll talk to you about actually what the options are. And it's about emphasizing your natural beauty, or maybe correcting something that is unbalanced, asymmetrical, that will just make someone feel so much better about themselves without having really to do anything major at all. So thank you for that. I've got one last question, and this is just a fun whatever question, or you can take it seriously. Is what is one thing that you cannot live without, Amanda?
Well, at the moment, I have a massive craving for those chili and lime tortilla chips. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
Yes.
But they are incredible. I love them. So it's really, I'm driving home from late clinics at 7 o'clock at night into IGA to just grab a packet of those, because I'm craving those at the moment. So they are something right now that I can't live without. I'm supposed to be gluten-free as well, so they're nice and gluten-free. So it's something that I can enjoy and eat. But the other thing that I can't live without is chocolate. So I'm a massive chocolate fiend.
Any particular chocolate?
Any
chocolate, she says.
Any chocolate. Yeah, any chocolate's good. But my clients and I keep a big stash back there in my office, and I do try and say that it's for them, but really it's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Look, we all need our own vices. It's just making sure we don't have too many of them, I guess. But I love a good corn chip myself.
Yeah.
So thank you, Amanda. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
So I am currently doing a massive overhaul of my website. I'm making it a lot more educational, doing a lot of frequently asked questions so that it is that educational. I'm also beginning to put up some blogs. So it is in the stages of changing, but there is still a lot of information currently on my website. There's also lots of information on my Instagram as well. So my website is www.amandafritzaesthetics.com.au, and my Facebook and my Instagram are just the same, Amanda Fritz Aesthetics. But you're always welcome to come in and have a free consultation. I don't charge for consultations, and just have a chat. If it's something that you've been thinking about doing, by all means, come in and have a chat. Like I said, it's a very non-judgmental, welcome, calm space that I have created here. It's not very clinically, and I didn't want to create a clinic vibe. It's like home. So yeah,
And
if
it
you
always
ever,
smells divine.
yeah.
And someone here has said raspberry bullets, so I'm thinking that must be a
I
client of
do,
yours.
yes,
Like
I know,
the
yes,
raspberry
raspberry
bullets.
bullets, yes, she knows. They all know. They bring me chocolate, Red Bulls. I get, you know, I've got such, like I said, I am so blessed with the best clients. They feed me all the time, so I very much appreciate that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amanda, and thanks everyone for joining us. We've had a few nice comments through the chat tonight, so that's wonderful. So every Monday at 7 o'clock, I interview someone, mostly local people, though some we're getting from interstate as well. So I really look forward to next Monday night. You can find me here on Instagram most often, or my website is kimadams.au, and I'm also doing a little bit of a change with that and moving really more into the confidence space, as opposed to, I've been doing a bit of yoga up until now, and I'll always probably do a little bit of yoga, but that is not my focus. So come join me. On my bio, you can sign up for 5 ways to build self-trust, and that'll get you on my mailing list for any events and some online courses that I'm currently developing. So thanks, Amanda, and thanks everyone for joining me on a Monday evening. And we both got through with our voices intact, so
Yeah.
well done us.
All right, see you everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.